王妃一の立つダンク。
Some protagonists feel like weaklings their whole life, born without magic or any sort of talent as the days pass by to later on discover that deep down they did have hidden talent. This video here returns as a continuation for the 10 weak to strong anime protagonists. If you're new around here, then please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel with the notification bell icon turned on to stay up to date with the latest anime news and recommendations right at your doorstep. Now, without giving you all waiting, let us begin with the video. To begin this list, how about starting with a more recent anime from the Isekai genre of a doctor dying from overwork and reincarnating into a royal family of a pharmacist. It's a very unique anime, don't get me wrong, and also one of the better Isekai anime from this genre for, for many reasons. The doctor is reincarnated into the body of a young boy named Pharma, who not only has normal skills but unique abilities to cure illnesses beyond this world's capabilities using magic. It's so strong that you can easily consider it very overpowered. And he pretty much just decides to open up his very own pharmacy in another world to help those in need through treatment.
もしその気があれば、私を手伝っていただけませんか?
Up next on the list is World Break, which is a harem-focused anime of a badass transfer student who is overpowered and of course gets the girls. It's not really hard nor complicated, but on the other hand, it's so predictable on what will happen. Though, as a harem enjoyer myself, having watched countless anime, it's something I'm very used to, so I don't really mind at all. The interesting thing is that people even have memories of their previous life and, wield special weapons, monsters constantly attacking those people in need protection, and you get the strongest character who is the protagonist with godlike powers, since almost every harem series has that involved. Charlotte follows the protagonist Yu, who might seem like a regular student in school, but he actually wields a special power or ability that allows him to take control over someone for a mere few seconds, and he actually uses that mainly for, fun or cheat his way through school exams. Not long until he was actually busted by a girl and threatened to expose him, but instead, she actually wanted him to join her little club.
みんなのために世界を変える
That club focuses on tracking down other people with special powers and stop them from abusing their skills. All of that is just the mere beginning of an epic journey because things get way more intense and Yu is about to discover the rest of his true powers. Akame Got Killed aired in 2014 by Studio White Fox, notoriously known for their work of ReZero, which is by far their greatest show ever made. It's about an assassination group looking to overthrow an empire and the adventure of a naive, weak swordsman named Tatsumi who is dreaming of making a name for himself as a great hero. This here is essentially your weak at first to then get stronger type of show for the protagonist, but it is quite addicting to say, especially with how some of the characters really entice you to keep watching, such as Death, one of the best female villains in anime who falls in love with the protagonist. Now just imagine a fat, ugly, and sore loser protagonist who gets bullied at school for being different, while other students are hot looking and always get by so easily. Well, Yuya, the protagonist, managed to find a door leading to an isekai world in his grandfather's house, and the other world changed Yuya completely in appearance to a more badass looking guy. It's quite similar to the Netflix series called Lookism from a popular Korean manga. In the other world, he can fight mobs and level up stats to get stronger and stronger, and the system in the end rewards him with real-life money, which means he can leave and enter between worlds anytime he wishes. The thing about Lord of Vermillion is that it started off very promising with hype action. Even though I had no idea what the fight was for, it was pretty badass how we got introduced to some of the characters in the storyline, but all that quickly just shifted into the entire thing moving way too fast in my opinion. Too many cast members is quite difficult to go in depth as a lot of them were left out, and the ending especially did not really resolve anything at all, which made it feel like a complete waste of time. You see the issue there? The story was just never really developed fully. I mean, people can still enjoy this anime, but aside from its obvious bad production budget, I really wouldn't watch this anime more than once. Now we're moving towards one of the hidden gems of the 2016 summer season that many people have overlooked. The protagonist Hanae was possessed by a yokai that gave him depression and started to cling to him by not leaving his side. But who would have thought that an average weak-looking high school student would soon become a yokai slayer? Sounds really badass, but it does take, a little while to reach that point as, the anime does have a few seasons to go through. It does mix in comedy with slice of life together as the entire story show is mostly about the protagonist trying to guide yokai safely back to the underworld who are roaming free in the real world. Devil Ring is an extremely underrated series as it's a Chinese animation that is surprisingly decent considering it is kinda confusing or even generic looking. But basically, the protagonist, who is an average student, finds a unique, strange ring which, upon wearing it, he gains the power of a demon god, but at the same time, that ring actually had unleashed secrets into the real world of multiple beings such as blood devils, zombies, and also priests into the real world to blend into society. That is quite a lot of changes, and it does sound weird, but exciting at the same time. Give it a shot and see if you like it. Hitori no Shita, the Outcast, is another Chinese animation series, but more on the side of being one of the best looking series with hand-to-hand combat sequences. Chinese anime have really come a long way, and I believe Hitori no Shita is an anime many need to watch. Imagine a guy who trained so hard that he mastered the deadliest fighting technique there ever was and proceeds to destroy people in competitions and just in general fighting others. This whole anime is so action-packed that you probably would just forget about the story, quite similar to, let's say, the God of High School. Looks like the ending has now been reached and it's time to close off the list. The finale anime is Spirit Chronicles. To be quite frank with you all, this is very generic and more on the predictable side of things. This is actually a reincarnation series of a high school student in a bus crash to being reborn into an orphan child whose mother had been killed. Upon receiving special powers, special magic powers, and saving a princess from being kidnapped, he enrolled into a very prestigious elite school as the only commoner surrounded by nobles who are, weak compared to his power. His mission is to just track down and find his mother's killer, but the story does go a little more in depth into other things such as when he will leave the academy for good and journey into other territories. you just made it to the end of the video and witnessed 10 weak to strong anime protagonists. If I have managed to leave any anime out in particular that you thought would be a great addition on the list, then please let me know in the comment section down below, as I'd love to hear your very opinion, or just comment down below what you thought about the video in general, as I always appreciate feedback. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.